Hello, it's good to see you. And today I want to talk about something that you may not really think about very often, but I think it's important for adults. And that is the topic of having fun as an adult. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's something that we think about a lot with kids, especially if you have kids. You may be somewhere, like if you've ever had to take your kids to a birthday party, and you can tell by looking around that all the adults are kind of miserable. It's really awkward, especially if you don't know the other adults. And, you're all just kind of standing around, and you'd rather be anywhere but there. I mean, let's be honest. But you stay and you look and you think, well, at least the kids are having fun. When was the last time you gave any thought to having fun yourself? And I'm talking about just whatever is fun for you. And I consider fun and happiness to be two different things. I mean, they're kind of related, but they're kind of not. I mean, I think you can be happy, but you're not really having any fun. But I think if you're having fun, at least at that moment, you are happy. But they're not quite the same thing. And I got this idea last night, right before I fell asleep. Every night, I fall asleep listening to Bob Ross and the Joy of Painting, and they have these episodes of the show on Netflix, and I will play them on my phone and plug in these speakers that go under my pillow, and that's how I go to sleep every night, just listening to Bob Ross. But last night, right before I fell asleep, I heard him say, and I don't even remember what he was talking about. I was about half asleep. I wasn't really listening to what he was saying, but I heard him say, "I have more fun than most people," and he was just making a random comment about sorry he was just making a random comment. He was just talking about something. He was just kind of rambling a little bit, and he said, "But I have more fun than most people." And right before I went to sleep, I thought, that's probably true. I'd be willing to bet that Bob did have more fun than most people. I mean, if you ever watch the Joy of Painting, a lot of times he'll show video clips of him and all the animals that he has made friends with over the years. Like, you had Peapod, the pocket squirrel, the little squirrel that he raised, and he showed it from when it was really small up until it was grown. And they show him sometimes at these wildlife preserves where he's feeding a baby deer, or he's got an owl on his arm or something. And I'm thinking, I'd be willing to bet he really did have a lot of fun. I think he had more fun than the average person, because you could tell he's just having a ball. And for him, that was a lot of fun. That was something that he enjoyed doing. And I woke up thinking about it. I woke up thinking about having fun as an adult, and how so much of life is about unfun stuff. It's stuff we have to do. And I'm not saying don't do those things, because I mean, we all have to go to work and pay bills, and you have all these responsibilities, and it's like sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in Groundhog Day, and I just do the same thing over and over and over, and it never changes. And life can be kind of a drag sometimes. It's just kind of monotonous and frustrating, and I thought, I really ought to do more stuff that's fun. Although I think I do. I personally, I think I do more frivolous, ridiculous, fun stuff than a lot of adults do. And I never really got over that from when I was a kid. I do silly things. I do ridiculous things just because it makes me laugh. Just, it's not hurting anybody. It may look a little weird, but it makes me laugh, and that's why I do it. So what I did, I made up some little cards that I'm going to show you of some ideas of ways to have fun as an adult. And we're not talking about your kids. We're not talking about any kids at all. Right now, we don't care if any kids have fun or not. We're not even worried about them right now. So if you have kids, don't even think about them. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you having fun. And I think it's kind of a taboo subject. It's like, it's okay to talk about ways to be more efficient, ways to spend our time more wisely. Those are considered good things. But if you try to look at things like, well, I would find this fun, I would enjoy doing this, it's almost like there's this voice in your head that goes, "Yeah, but that's a waste of time." But I don't think having fun is a waste of time. I don't. I think it helps give your mind a little break. It allows you to stop being so serious all the time. And I think it helps you refocus on your life. I think it makes life better. I think it helps you enjoy your life more. And what are we here for if we're not enjoying ourselves at least a little bit? I mean, do you really enjoy your life? And sometimes, like I said, there are unavoidable things that we all have to do. And you don't enjoy them, but you just have to do them anyway. And there's plenty of that. But when was the last time you did something that you really enjoyed? Just because you enjoyed it, not because it benefited the kids or because something they wanted to go do, or I mean just for you. When was the last time you did something? Oh, I did something earlier tonight. I'll tell you about that later. It was fun. I'm making this video kind of late because I was doing something I enjoyed. I was I was watching funny cat videos on YouTube. And my kids got into watching it with me, but I really started it because I wanted to watch it myself, and then they came and watched with me. We spent about a half hour watching funny cat videos. And it was great. It was wonderful. We just laughed ourselves silly, and the cats heard the noises of the videos, and they came and they were on the couch and they were looking at the computer, and just I had the laptop in my lap and they were just watching the screen, just like, what are y'all doing? So yeah, I wasn't too worried about the time or anything because I was enjoying myself. I was doing something that was fun. So but yeah, we play a game. Evie, my older cat, my little tortoiseshell cat, we play this game, and she loves to do this. Like you crouch down on the floor, right at a corner, like right at a corner, and you peep around the corner at her. And when she sees you doing this, her eyes get all big, and she'll crouch down, and she won't move. She won't move. She'll just crouch down and look at you. And if you back up where she can't see you anymore, when you peep around the corner again, she'll be a little closer and she'll stop. Once she sees you, she'll stop. And it sounds ridiculous, but it's exhilarating because you never know when she's going to come around that corner. And she's very quiet. You don't hear her coming. She's like a little ninja. And you peep around the corner, she's even closer, and she just keeps inching closer. It is so much fun. I love doing that. We do that at least once a day with the cat. Either I will or one of my kids will do it. We all enjoy doing it. I started it, now the kids are doing it. So anyway, that's something I enjoy. Not everybody would enjoy that, I guess. I think it's a hoot. I love doing it. Okay. But like I said, I made some cards. Again, I'm very fond of these. I don't know if you've noticed. I made some cards of some ideas of ways that you can have fun as an adult. And this is just to benefit you. This is not for anybody else. It's just for you. And they don't really cost anything. These are things that you can do for free, I think. Most of them anyway. And this is the first one, and they're not in any order. Look at your world from a different perspective. And I mean that literally. I mean literally. Like, well, I did this last night in my room, and I don't remember why I did it. I was in here, and I don't know why, but all of a sudden, I just lay down on the floor and stared up at everything I could see from the floor, and I looked around at everything. Sometimes I'll get on my bed and stand up and look around. I don't know why, but it's something I've always liked to do. Just to literally look at your world from a different perspective, from a different angle. And I don't know why. And I will just stand and stare. Like I'll get up on my bed and just look down at everything. And I don't know what that does, but it does something to kind of give me a different, I don't know, like a different opinion about things. I don't know how to explain it, but try it sometime. It's really interesting if you can get to a different point of view, a different place in your home, and just get up or get down and just look around. It's really neat to look at your world from a different perspective. Like I park in a parking deck, and sometimes I'll go up to the very top floor if I have some free time, my kids love to do it. We'll go up to the very top and we'll go out and we'll just look around at the city. It's really neat. Everything, it looks like an elaborate model train set, because off in the distance there's this train track that kind of goes around this one section of town, but it's so far away, especially from the very top of the parking deck. The parking deck is 7 or 8 stories high, so you go out there and you can see the train sometimes when it's going around, and it just looks like a little model train. It doesn't even look real. And there's just something so cool about seeing the world from up there, especially if you're normally down on ground level, which my kids usually are, and they love it. They just love, and we'll go up there and they'll just stand and they'll just look. I mean, they'll just look and look for the longest time and not even really say much. And I always wonder what's going through their minds as they stand and just look at everything. So try that sometime. Here's one that it's going to sound weird, and it's supposed to. Make weird noises. I know, if you were a kid, you probably did this, and it probably drove your parents insane, because I used to do it all the time. My brother never did. My brother was always the quiet, button-down, serious kind of kid for the most part. I was not. I was a completely goofy kid. I was always making racket of some sort. I was always making noise, but only when I was at home. When I was at school, I never talked. And my teachers really hated it. They were always telling my parents, I really wish she would talk more. And my parents thought they had the wrong kid or something. Mary's, I had the nickname Motor Mouth at home because I talked all the time. And at school, I wouldn't talk. I didn't like to talk. I still don't like to talk around people much. Make weird noises. And I dare you to do this and not laugh. You can't do it. I do this in the car a lot, especially if I'm by myself, but I'll do it if the kids are in there. I don't care. Just make ridiculous little noises or sing a silly song. Just be ridiculous. You can't do it and not smile. You can't do it. I can't do it. Sometimes I forget. It could be addictive. I took my car and dropped it off to get the oil changed about a week ago. And I was standing in there, and the guy walked back in the back, and I just kind of forgot where I was and started singing some stupid song. It was like the Barney song or something. I don't know, something stupid. And he walks back in and looks at me like, what are you doing? So I don't care. So make weird noises. Just try it. Just try it. See if you don't giggle a little bit. You probably will. And this next one is something that I do, but I don't do it as much as I used to. I should do it more. Use your lunch hour, assuming you get a lunch hour. If not a lunch hour, just some little period of time. You may have to schedule it ahead of time, but use your lunch hour to go do something fun. And when I say something fun, I mean something that's fun for you. I used to do this more than I do now. I would take my lunch hour and I would walk downtown, and there was this really weird store down there that sold a little bit of everything. And I used to love to walk down there once every month or two and see what kind of new stuff they had in. And I didn't need anything. I just felt like doing it. One thing I did recently, I'm working on a story. I've been writing this story, and I haven't gotten very far on it in the last year. I can't imagine why. I've been busy. But there's a scene in the story where 2 of my characters go ice skating. And I took my lunch hour one day and went to watch people ice skate. I just sat and watched people ice skate for about a half hour. And it was really cool because, while I'm sitting there watching them skate, I'm thinking about that scene in the story, and I'm just kind of imagining what their dialogue would be like, what they would do, as they're out there, and it was just really neat to do that. It helps clear my mind. I get away from the office, which is nice. They need time to miss you, and that's something I think I mentioned before. If you get a lunch hour and you work in an office, get out of the building. I see too many people who never do that. They never leave the building. They're in there all day. They don't go anywhere for lunch. They're always available if anybody needs them to do anything. The people you work with need to have time to miss you. Get up, get away from your desk, go somewhere else. Don't sit in there all day. I don't think it's healthy. I really don't. Now, I have done it. I mean, if I'm really busy and I can't get away for lunch, then I stay, but I don't make a habit of that. I figure whatever it is can wait until I get back. Usually. Sometimes it can't, but get up and get away from your desk and go do something that you want to do. I don't care if it's just driving down to the local drugstore and buying a bag of jelly beans. Whatever to you sounds like a fun thing to do, go do it. There's no reason why you can't. There's nothing stopping you except yourself to do it. I need to do it more myself. This is another one I do a lot of, but I usually do it when I'm by myself or with my kids. Make funny faces. This is another thing. I love to do this. And I probably shouldn't, but I do. My kids will go on and on and on about video games. And I've told them repeatedly, when you get into these really detailed monologues with me, and it's not a discussion, it's a monologue. They're really just talking at me about these video games. I've told them, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're saying right now. It makes no sense to me at all. I know nothing about this game. This is gibberish. No offense, but it's absolute gibberish. I don't know anything about it. So if they continue on, and we're talking, some of these monologues can go on for 10, 15 minutes, and I don't think they even stop to take a breath. After a while, when it just gets ridiculous, I will just start making the most ridiculous faces I can think of until they just crack up laughing. And I will remind them again that I have no idea what they're talking about. No offense, but none of this is getting in because I have no point of reference for any of the things you're saying right now. So try making some funny faces. I know your face won't stick that way. This is one I mainly do here with my kids. I don't really do it with anybody else at this point in my life. Pranks. Little stupid things you do. I do this to my kids all the time. I mess with their heads all the time. Not in a mean way, I don't think. I just do little ridiculous things. Yeah. One thing I do, I'm going to show you this. This is Barney. Barney is my kid's enemy. They can't stand this doll. He's big. See, he's big. A big Barney. I got this at a church yard sale for $1 probably 4 or 5 years ago. I've had it for a while. And every now and then Barney just shows up. He's like the elf on the shelf, but he's around all year. Every now and then the kids will come home and Barney will be nestled in their bed reading a book, or he'll be hanging from the shower nozzle, or he's been all over the place. And my kids just freak every time they find Barney. I know they say, "Oh my God, it's Barney," and they'll throw him out in the hall. But I know, but they prank me with him too whenever they can get a hold of him. I normally have him hidden. I keep him hidden in my room. I don't tell them where. But if they ever find him, they do it to me too. Like they'll nestle him. They'll take him. One time they put him in my closet, like they slid my clothes back, and they just had his little head sticking out from between my clothes, hanging up in the closet. Or one time he had his feet stuck down in my boots, and he was sitting on top of my boots. So I never know when he's going to show up either. I try to keep him hidden. Poor Barney's been abused. He's been thrown. He's been yelled at. I'm sorry. So I've gotten my dollar's worth out of this Barney. We've had so much fun with it. But I'm usually the one playing the little trick on my kids. So, yeah, it's just something stupid. I don't know. But a little harmless prank on somebody is always fun. And this sounds boring, but as an adult, it's kind of necessary. Schedule regular time to do fun stuff. And I don't mean, again, I'm not talking about fun stuff for your kids or with your kids. I mean, that's great if you want to do that, but I think it's also important to have fun by yourself or for yourself. Whatever it is you think is fun. I don't care if your kids think it's lame. This isn't about them. Who cares what they think is lame? This is for you. You probably spend, if you have kids, you spend enough time worrying about whether or not they're bored, whether or not they're having fun. Worry about yourself and whether or not you're having fun. So if you have to schedule regular appointments for yourself to do stuff, then do that. I mean, otherwise it might not happen. The next one is skip. And I don't mean work, although that could be fun. Not that I'm advocating for that. I'm not saying skip work. No, I mean skip, literally. Like you skip, you see kids skipping down the sidewalk. Well, you used to. Now they're walking down the sidewalk like zombies looking at a screen. But kids used to skip and play and frolic and do stuff. Skip. I do it all the time. Oh my God, I do it. Putting up a shopping cart. I will kind of skip behind the shopping cart. I had one lady ask me one time if I was all right. She asked me if I was okay. I said, I'm fine. It really disturbed her to see me skipping through the parking lot at the food line with the shopping cart. Yeah, skip at the gym, going from one machine to another. I don't care. I do not care. It's fun. You can't skip and be in a bad mood. If you're walking somewhere with another person, get them to skip with you. You cannot go down the sidewalk skipping with another person to be sad. It's impossible. So try it. I probably should have started with this one. Figure out what you consider to be fun. Because what you consider to be fun may not be what everybody else considers to be fun. Like I said, one thing I like to do is play with the cat. Get down on the floor by the corner and wait for her to scare me to death because that's just so funny. Going head first down a water slide, whatever it is. Going swimming. I mean, that's one thing that I've been thinking about doing is, I know it's January. I want to go, there's an aquatic center not far from where I live. I want to call them up and see when they have open swim for whoever, where they're not having other stuff going on. I want to go swimming. I want to go dive in a pool. I want to do that. I'm so tempted to take a day off work and just go swim just all day. I want to do that. I may do that. So whatever is fun for you, that's all that matters. As long as you're not hurting anybody. Whatever's fun for you, that's the only thing you need to worry about. Figure out the things that are fun for you and go do them. This is another one that might help if you're having trouble having fun. Hang out with a fun person. I mean, I think most of us know at least one person who it seems like they always have something going on. There's always something. They're always involved in some kind of little caper or other. Spend more time with that person if you can. If you're having trouble on your own and you need an accomplice, do that. Playing with the cat, letting her scare me to death does this. Find something that makes you laugh until you can't breathe. That is the craziest feeling. It's one of the best feelings to me. It's like you were laughing so hard you just can't breathe. It's like you're making no noise and you can't. It's the best feeling in the world. And that's, playing with the cat like that, messing with my kids. We chase each other around. Sometimes we play hide and seek in the house. Stuff like that. It's just sometimes, and it's usually moments that you don't expect. It's just these unanticipated little moments that happen that they are so funny. It's almost like you can't handle it. You're going to pass out because you can't breathe. Hang on to those moments. Try to find more of those moments in your life. Because I think that's what makes life worthwhile. We're not here to just work and die. That's not why I'm here. I want to enjoy it. I want to have some fun. This is one I love. And this is something I enjoy. It may not work for you, but as far as finding something that makes me laugh until I can't breathe, this does it every time. Try playing badminton. I am not kidding. If you've never played, give it a try. I don't know what it is about badminton, but there is something about playing badminton that just cracks me up. I think it's seeing that little birdie fly back and forth for some reason. That just makes me laugh. I don't know why. But every time I play badminton, it's almost like I can't play because I'm laughing so hard. I can't hit that birdie because I keep laughing. I need to do that. I need to get our badminton stuff out. We need to go do that. I think the next time we have a warm day, I'm going to take the kids. We're going to go play badminton. But yeah, I mean, you don't really need anything. You can get badminton stuff pretty cheap. You don't need a net or anything. You just go out and, which really, if you're playing with kids, having a net's just going to make it harder. So, playing without a net's probably going to work better anyway. But try playing badminton. I don't know if it will have that effect on you, but I find it to just be hilarious. And I don't really know why. Racing, and I guess it could be in a car, but I do this with my kids all the time. But I try to make sure it's safe. Like if we're in a store and I know there's nobody on that aisle, and we're kind of at the beginning of the aisle and it's just us, I will just say, just out of nowhere, I'll race you to the end of the aisle, and we all three will just tear down that aisle as fast as we can. We race each other. We'll race to the elevator. We'll race to the car. We'll race across the parking lot if it's safe, of course. I always check to make sure there are no cars or we're not going to get hit or anything. That's always fun. That's always a lot of fun. I don't care who wins. So yeah, hey, if you're at work, do it at work. Race a coworker to see what they say. Race them to the elevator. Oop, dropped one. Duck into a photo booth. These are hard to find, it seems like. You don't see them that much anymore. Although we were at a bowling alley back in the summer, and we were at somebody's birthday party, and we were at a bowling alley, and they had this big game room in the back, and we were back there in the game room, and my kids had some tokens, and I spotted a photo booth back there. And I grabbed my kids. I said, come here. And we jumped in the photo booth. So here we are in the photo booth. I don't know if you can see that. But we jumped into the photo booth and I made them take pictures with me. And I love these pictures with my kids. Just a little, I don't know, something stupid that I felt like doing. So jump in there, take some pictures, and just be ridiculous with it. Don't be so serious all the time. My God. Go buy some bouncy balls, an air horn, and some silly string. And don't share them with your kids, unless you have to. I have a whole collection of bouncy balls. I've just rubber balls. I've collected them since I was a kid. And if my neighbors downstairs here lately, they've been playing their music really loud at night. And I've tried stomping on the floor and they don't do anything. But I found if I get out, I have this huge bag full of bouncy balls of all sizes. If I get those out and start bouncing them, I don't know if the sound carries really well or what it is. But if I start bouncing the balls, at first it sounds like they bang a broom on the ceiling downstairs, but I just keep doing it until they turn their music down, and usually within about 5 minutes they turn it down. So we have this unspoken agreement, well, I'll put my bouncy balls up if you turn your radio down. So it's working so far. And air horns are just funny. I don't care who you are. Air horns are a lot of fun. If you've never played with an air horn, get you an air horn. You can prank somebody with that. You can scare the daylights out of somebody with an air horn. And silly string. You kind of have to be careful with that because it is not a lot of fun to clean up. But it's still fun to play with. Just some ideas of fun stuff that I like. Now here's one that may sound weird, but go to the park and play. I know around here, this was probably about 10 years ago. I want to say, yeah, it's about 10 years ago. There was a gym who had this thing that they did where they would meet at a local park. There's a big park not far from here. It's this huge park. And, with all the playground equipment and everything. And the gym, the members would meet there on certain days of the week in the evenings. This is in the summertime. And all the adults would just play on the playground equipment. They had a whole circuit of stuff that you could do for your workout on the playground equipment. It was really neat. But they tried to go when there weren't many kids there, I think, so they wouldn't bother people. But just go out there and play. Go down the slide, swing on the. When's the last time you sat and when's the last time you got to swing on a swing or go down a slide? I always said, if I had $1 million, one of the things I would do is I would build a real park, like parks that existed back in the 70s and 80s when I was a kid. Oh, I mean, the big tall metal slides, the merry-go-round, the seesaws. You can't find any of that stuff anymore. If you go to a park and you look at the playground, all the equipment is just, it's nothing like that anymore. It's so safe now, it's no fun anymore, honestly. I'm talking about the mile-high monkey bars, everything. When I have $1 million, I'm going to build that park, and it's going to be like the ones in the really tall swings, and I'm going to put a fence around it, and I'll let anybody in who wants to go, but they have to sign a waiver that they won't sue me if they get hurt. I would love that. I would love to have a real park, and I'd play in it every day. I would. I'm 43 and a half. I don't care. I would play in that sucker every day because I love it. And most of the parks now don't have all that stuff, but it's still fun. They still have swings and stuff. This is something I used to do, and I don't do much anymore. Make something ridiculous but awesome for dinner or lunch or whatever. Just whatever you feel like having for dinner. I don't care how stupid it is. I don't care if you want a box of tricks for dinner. Have that for dinner. Have ice cream for dinner. It's not going to kill you. Probably not going to fill you up, but do something different. Don't be so responsible all the time. We have breakfast for dinner here some, but that's not really all that extreme or fun. Have whatever would make you smile. Have that for dinner. And then this is something that was kind of big here for a little while, and I don't know if it still goes on or not. Play kickball, and if possible, join a team. There used to be adults-only kickball teams around here. I don't know if they still do that. That was a really big thing there for a while. And they would have, meets or whatever you want to call it. And they had whole kickball leagues of adults. There were no kids. It was all adults. It was awesome. I loved kickball as a kid. I can't remember the last time I played. I was probably in elementary school. Go play kickball. And play with your kids or whatever. Play with other adults. Join a team if that's an option in your area. You could probably Google it and figure out if there is any such thing. But yeah, check it out if you liked kickball. It's still fun. I still can remember the way that kickball sounds. When you kick it and you've kicked it really, really well and it just flies away. That's so satisfying. Go to Toys R Us or any store with toys and buy a toy for yourself. And don't give it to your kids. Keep it for yourself. Just something that looks like fun. An Etch-a-Sketch or a Rubik's Cube or whatever. Any store, go to any store with a toy department. I don't care. Target, Walmart, whatever. Just go look at the toys. Just walk up and down the toy aisles. And just check things out. When's the last time you did that? One thing that kills me, I go and I look at all the toys and I think, man, where was all the stuff when I was a kid? They have so many cool toys now. Even if you just look at the Lego sets, oh my goodness, all the different Lego sets are crazy. I would have loved that as a kid. When I was a kid, we had Legos, but they were just little blocks. We didn't have all these specialty pieces like they do now. All these elaborate sets. We didn't have that. Get you a toy and keep it. There are all kinds of neat things. Even if you just get a lava lamp. Whatever makes you smile. One thing I have, and it's not in here right now, is, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Flarp, Flarp. It's this squishy goo, and it comes in a little plastic container about that big. And it's called Flarp. It's like $1. I don't know. It comes in different colors. It's wet and squishy, and it makes really nasty sounds. But it's so much fun to squish it between your fingers. And if I were to go buy a toy, that's probably what I would get. I would at least get that. I'd probably get several things. But I would get a container of Flarp. Or get a Slinky. Look at this. Get you a Slinky. This is my Slinky. Now, I've had this Slinky since I was in the 10th grade. So what was I, 15? Yeah, I was 17 when I graduated, so I guess I was 15. This is my Slinky. You know, you still sell these. You can still get the metal ones. My kids got some for Christmas this year. You know how satisfying it is to do this? It's nice. It's very old, but it's held up remarkably well. Mainly because I don't let my kids play with it. No, this is my Slinky. No, I told them, I said, this Slinky is over 25 years old. You can't play with it. They have their own Slinkies. So they can play with those. Get you a Slinky. It's a stress reducer, I think, to just do this. Go get you a Slinky. What are they, like $4? I don't know. The story behind the Slinky is really interesting. You should read it sometime. It was this man, I cannot remember where he worked, but he worked somewhere. And one day he brought home a metal spring from work, and he noticed that his kids were fighting over it. They could not stop playing with it. And he got the idea to make a toy that was just a metal spring. And that's where Slinkies came from. So, consider a Slinky. But don't let your kids play with it. They will stretch it out. They always do. That's what kids do. That's what they're for. They're on this earth to stretch out your Slinkies. Don't let them do it. I love this one. Play with a balloon. Even if you only have one balloon. Even if there's no helium in it. Just blow it up with regular air. Doesn't matter. Tie a knot in it. Bat it around the room. If it has helium with it, bat it around the room. I like to take ones with helium and bounce them like a basketball. Like slap them down. I love it when the kids have birthdays because I always get them balloons and then I end up playing with them. And the kids get mad at me because I end up taking their balloons to play with. They always tell me to go get my own balloons. When you got mine, you should have got one for yourself. I'd rather play with theirs. So play with a balloon. Or, you know, I don't know if you ever did this, you blow it up with air, and then you grab the end and you pull it really tight, and it makes this loud noise when the air escapes. It's really funny. Do that too. And this one applies to all the ones that I just read. This is the last one. It's very fitting. And I've said this before. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking about you, because they're not. They're not. Nobody cares. As long as the things that you're doing aren't hurting anybody, no one is judging you. No one is thinking anything of you. And if they are, what difference does it make, really? They don't pay your bills, so don't worry about what they think of you. If you're having fun, if you're doing something that makes you smile and makes you laugh, it's not hurting anybody, to heck with them. Forget it. They're just jealous because they're not having any fun. Look at their sour faces. They're not having a good day. They're not having a good life because they don't know how to have fun. I had fun this morning when I got dressed. I did. Look at this. Look at this. It's a crocheted fuzzy sweater. Look at this thing. Is this not crazy? I feel like a stuffed animal in this sweater. I'm wearing lots and lots of rhinestones. I have on owl earrings. I am dressed kind of ridiculous today, and I love it. I have really enjoyed wearing my furry crocheted sweater all day. It made me smile. It made me happy. It was fun, and that's why I did it. I remember this one time. Talking about nobody cares what you do, and they're not even paying attention to you. I do remember this one time. My older son is in Taekwondo, and we came out of class, and we're standing in the parking lot, and my younger son was about to get in the car, and I don't remember what we were talking about, and all of a sudden, we both looked up, and here in the distance, coming from the corner of the parking lot, is this man on an old 10-speed, like from the 70s, with the handlebars kind of curled down. I will never forget this. He was on a brown 10-speed, kind of cutting through the parking lot, and he had on a banana costume. He was wearing a banana costume and riding a 10-speed through the parking lot. And we all just stopped. All three of us stopped talking, and we all just watched this man just drift. He was just coasting kind of down the hill, just right through the parking lot, and he just went on into the distance wearing his banana costume, and we all just stood there like, did you see that? What was that? And he kind of waved at us when we went by. He just waved in his little yellow arm. He just waved at us from out from under his banana peel and just kept going. That man was having fun. That man was having fun. Maybe he was crazy. I don't know. But I guarantee you that man has more fun than the majority of people walking around on this planet. Just cruising around town on a bike, wearing a banana costume. Okay. Actually, in a way, I was kind of jealous because I thought that man right now is enjoying life more than I am. But he put a smile on my face. It made me laugh. And, it inspires me to do things like skip through the parking lot with a shopping cart. Race my kids. Do something silly, but something fun. Because life is so short. It is so short. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I tell you, it seems like yesterday I was 18 years old and, just a kid, and you turn around twice and you're 40-something. It goes so fast. Enjoy it as much as you can. Have some fun. Do something silly. And don't worry about it. To heck with it. Don't worry about other people. I want to be able to look back on my life as an old lady and smile about it. I want to have things that I can remember and get a laugh out of when I'm old. So, anyway, those are my ideas. That's all I have, I think. That's all I have. And I hope to see you again, and I will get back to doing my regular videos probably tomorrow. But anyway, thank you again for watching, and I will see you again soon.